Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. Until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life.
Live around the world from our North Yorkshire headquarters. My name is Paul.
My name's Andy.
This is the Unpenned Show on Tuesday, the 18th of February 2014. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, let's do it.
We don't do the how's your father, how's everybody else, do we?
No.
No, let's get on with it. No. 2 hours or less.
Mm-hmm.
To describe the madness in simple terms. Two guys from Yorkshire sat smack bang in the middle of Yorkshire with the ability to transmit our programmes around the world.
Amazing.
If you're listening, thank you for doing so.
Yeah, thanks very much.
We do really value your time because it makes us value this time.
Mm-hmm.
We used to sit and do this without microphones.
We did.
Now we do it with microphones, and it's a bigger benefit to us.
Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Hopefully it's a bigger benefit to everybody else. We don't have a lot of followers on our YouTube channel, do we?
We don't, no.
This will be turned into a YouTube video tomorrow for anybody who wants to listen to it. The reason we don't have a lot of people following us is fairly simple. We don't tell you what you want to hear. We tell you what we see.
Mm.
And what we see and what you want to hear conflict. Because you live in a world of bias. And if you're in the early days of discovery that the world isn't quite as you thought it was, you'll always cherry pick the news that fits the reality you're currently studying.
You will, yeah. We did it.
Yep, I mean, you have to ask yourself some very simple questions. Can you possibly think something that you've not been told by somebody else before today?
Mm.
And you've got to say to yourself, and be truthful to yourself, because these are questions you should ask yourself in front of a mirror, on your own, with perhaps one or two of the bigger lights turned out in the house. So there's just you and the mirror and some dimming type light. And you should say, is it possible for me to think something that I've not been told by somebody else previously?
Mm.
Is it possible for me to think something that I've not read somewhere else? And is it possible for me to not connect something that not been shown to me by somebody else? Now you answer that question, but the chances are it will be no.
Yeah, my answer was no.
And then you should say to yourself, so who am I?
Mm.
Who am I and who has made me?
Mm-hmm.
And you know the answers. The world around you's made you. It's made you into formation.
Mm.
So you're like everybody else. Now you have your quirks and choices, and your likes and dislikes, pretty much like the food you eat. Some people like parsnips, I can't get them in.
Mm.
Some people drink gin, it tastes like perfume to me.
Mm.
But all in all, we're pretty much the same. And we're led to believe that we pretty much want the same things. And we do. We all want to get along. We all want to have what we need. And we all want to have a lot of friends while we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't work, of course, because it's what you'll do for what you need. And it's what skills you have to get what you need to what you'll do. And as we fall, and believe me, this society is certainly falling, look at the way the sun crosses the sky every day. Now, everybody who's had kids, especially a boy, you're going to call him your son. And it's spelled S-O-N. And the magic is the spell binding of a magician.
Mm-hmm.
And every word is spelled. Every word is spelled, and it's made up of a number of spells. So sun is S-O-N. That's 3 spells.
Mm-hmm.
3 spells. Sounds like S-U-N. 3 spells. If it sounds the same, it's connected. But in a different level connection. Because we're all somebody's son, aren't we? I mean, David Icke actually got vilified for saying that we're all the sons and daughters of a higher deity, should you believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe in a higher deity called God, or whatever you choose to call him, then we're all sons and daughters, aren't we?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he got vilified, and Terry Wogan... it's one of the iconic moments in TV history, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And one that took him many years to recover from. And yet now, well, of course we are, if that's what you want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any problem with people who say that. We just, if that's what you want to believe, go right ahead. Whereas 22, 23 years ago, outrageous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, we have become a little more sophisticated and open to that way of speaking, haven't we?
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't get that reaction in today's society, would he? From a very few dumb, the dumber end.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much everybody else would say, well, if he wants to say that, that's fine. So religious freedom is good and well in this country, albeit that not many people practice.
Mm.
But if you think of the travel of the sun, and that sun is born from the water, or our language is born from a story that includes the sun being born from the water. And he spends the first half of his life, or the first half of the day, climbing that hill,
mm-hmm.
surmounting the mountain, heaving himself up to his best he can possibly be. And it's quite a climb, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the challenge. The climb is what you make your life to be, by the way. That's the size of the mountain or the size of the hill is exactly what you choose to challenge yourself with.
Yep.
And at the midpoint of your life, at the highest, the peak of your powers, this is the brightest you'll ever be.
Yep.
So they have us led to believe. But only in energy, not in knowledge. Because on the way up that hill, your view is from one side of that mountain you're climbing. And you can see what's been shown to you, and you can see the shadows behind what's been shown to you. And once you hit the peak, the very highest point, there is only one way to go after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the fall. Now, we hold on very tightly to our peak of our powers because we don't want to take the fall. And we'll do almost anything to stay at the very peak of our powers.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to take the fall eventually.
We are, yeah.
Because there's a queue getting up this mountain, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
And you only get to stay at the top for a certain length of time.
Yeah.
Now, when you come down that mountain in the second half of your life of the day, you were peering at the top. You were a peer, and you could look down. Well, that's how the language fits it in.
Yep.
On the fall, the afternoon and the evening, the shadows change, don't they?
They do, yeah.
And what the facades you were shown, you've now gone over the hill, and you're looking at the back, and the shadows go the other way. Mm. So now you see both sides.
Yeah.
And
you've seen the dark side.
And now you've got a choice.
Yeah.
We're taught to be scared of death, aren't we?
Mm.
We're taught that death is something that we should be terrified of.
Yeah.
And religion plays its part. Talking about nothing but horror stories, which include millions of people dying. Just like today, which is horror stories of assassinations and death.
Yep.
On a scale unknown. We've got our kids assassinating imaginary characters in their bedrooms, and we wonder why their minds don't work the same as ours. Mm-hmm. Religion wanted us to be terrified of death,
It did, yeah.
because it then could sell us the stories that we were comfortable with. And it could tell us a number of versions, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The first version, of course. Yeah, the first salesman's trick. The girls have fallen for this. It's the elixir of youth, isn't it? The elixir of life.
Yep.
You come and buy this, and you can look young and live forever.
Yeah, eternal youth.
And the girls are buying into it. The girls buy into that, don't they?
With a nip and a tuck.
The second version, of course, the second is to be born again, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the awake crowd, I hope that you can perhaps appreciate how that works with some people. Because if you're truly awake, and everybody I've met so far, and it's not a big number of people, who are truly awake, agree with me on the next point. Did it feel like you'd died? And you'd had to climb your way out of a cave or a rabbit hole or some sort of pit.
A deep hole.
It felt like you'd had to climb your way out, and you'd have to do it on your own. And without wanting to sound biblical, it did feel like you were born again. And the tarot cards play exactly the same sequence, by the way. The sequence in the tarot cards, the word tarot being pretty much a rough translation of the truth, the taroth. We get betrothed to each other.
We do.
And that's where you get to be truthed in church. And that's where you make your promises, and perhaps the girl will make her promises. Those promises are made in the eyes of the Lord, and are witnessed by all your friends. And the idea being, friends and family, the idea being that promise is till death you do part. In today's modern world, it's changed a little bit now. It's perhaps till debt. Till debt do us part, unfortunately. But, yeah, we can rise again. And, well, who knows with today's modern science? Who knows? You know, they can certainly sell you plenty of opportunities, can't they?
They certainly can.
Cryogenics is one of them, isn't it? We'll freeze you until we've figured out how to do it. It's the same story, isn't it?
Puts a funny turn on Mum's Gone to Iceland.
But it's the same play, different salesman, more sophisticated approach, but same play, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And the third version, and that is that they've convinced us all that we've got a soul. They've convinced us all that there's something inside us. There's something more. There's something that lights us up. There's something that we must nurture and we must grow. It's a soul, and when the body's tired and of no use, your soul will elevate to the next level if you've been good. If you've passed all our tests and listened to what we told you, the soul will leave the body and go on to whatever's next. We like that one, don't we?
We do,
We do like that one.
That's the most preferred.
It is the most preferred. No proof at all. No proof at all. Absolutely none at all.
9 out of 10 caps prefer that one.
But there's no proof.
There isn't.
All right. So we build up these stories to make us okay with dying. Because if you just said, look, that's it, the bulb goes out. You don't know you're dead.
You don't know.
It doesn't matter that you don't know, because you're done. But no, listen, we can transfer your mind into computers. We can make you live forever. We can make you immortal. It's got the word mort in it.
Yes.
I'm mortal. So it doesn't sound like it's going to make you live forever, really.
Not really, no.
But we can transfer your mind into machines, and you can live on. Same sales talk, isn't it? Same sales talk.
Leave your legacy.
Well, one thing, it's not for us.
No.
It's definitely not for us. It'll be tried on us and practiced on us, but we're not having it.
No.
It won't be for us. The human experiment continues, and we're the last test. The test on mice and rats, pigs and dogs and cats and monkeys and apes and sheep and people. We're the last test. Okay? So when it's passed all those tests and it's time for us to be tested, it hasn't passed that test.
No.
We're the last test. And then, of course, there's the fourth version, and the one that actually makes the most sense. And that is that the only way you can live forever is through your children and through their memories.
Yeah.
That's all
That's
there is.
all, yeah.
There is nothing more
No.
that we can promise you. If there is something more, if there is a higher deity, if there is more to this world, which we so want there to be.
Yeah.
I so want Peter at the gates to say, we've been expecting you. It's a pleasure that you're here. I've got 2 or 3 questions that I want to ask you. And if you can pass the tests, you can come in and live with the angels. The Muslims have the same story, by the way. The same version of this story.
Whichever religion it is, that's a
Every
similar
religion's got
story,
pretty
yeah.
much the same versions of don't worry about dying. Don't worry about dying, we'll sort it out for you. Listen to what we've got to tell you, we'll deal with it and get you in.
Yeah.
Alright, if you want to join the club upstairs, we've had plenty of spaceships and we've got binoculars and whatever, and we've never seen anybody, there's no one there. But apparently they just go up there, they're just up, and where's your granddaddy's up there somewhere. Never been spotted floated about. But it's who you were. That's what gets remembered.
Yeah.
And what you did and what you said. That's the only real thing that we know we can leave behind. The pictures, the stories, the memories,
Yeah.
and how people felt when they'd met us.
Yeah.
Everything else
He's up for debate.
it's the salesman's talk, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
We don't argue about whether we've got a soul. We don't argue about is there a higher deity. We don't argue about reincarnation or resurrection.
Nope.
Because looking back in history, it's never been proved and it's never been disproved. So who are we to think we could solve the unsolvable, unfathomable?
Yeah.
Who are we to think we can do that? And the answer is fools to think we can.
We are, yeah.
Welcome to the show. This is what we do, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
This is what we do
This
and
is
how
our
we do
Tuesday
it.
night, yeah. We have a couple of beers.
And we burst a few bubbles.
Yeah.
But
mainly our own.
But the ones that we've already burst,
already-
we share
yeah.
with everybody else.
That we've relived, yeah.
Because this time-stealing machine is absolutely genius.
It is.
It entertains with no reward.
Yeah.
It takes your money and your time, which is the same thing because you spend it here, and doesn't pay you a penny, does it?
Oh, no.
Nothing.
No, mine's just been repaired. Took another 55 quid off me to get it repaired. I'm running an old banger like.
But what is this? What
Yeah.
is this an example of? Let's go back 150 years to the Victorian times, and let's go back to the fairs they used to have.
Yes.
What is this? What was in that? What was in those Victorian fairs?
There was
There was the rides, the roundabouts,
somebody
Yeah.
selling Jesus' finger.
the bearded ladies,
Yeah,
the bearded ladies.
Roll up, roll up.
That's right. And there was all the games of chance, which were rigged against
Yes.
you. And then there was the snake oil salesman. Every pill, potion, and poison. It was nothing more than what we've got in here. And if we describe it, how would you describe what we've got in here? It's a Victorian fair crossed with
A circus.
It's exactly what it is.
Blame. Well, Missy, let me break this down for you Bobo style. Life is scary. Get used to it.
And then it seemed like Dr. Kelso wasn't only talking to her.
There are no magical fixes. It's all up to you. So get up off your keister, get out of here, and go start doing the work.
What if it's too hard?
Yeah, what if it's too hard?
Turkleton, I have no idea why you're chiming in, but I'll say this to both of you. Nothing in this world that's worth having comes easy. I gotta go.
It is Tuesday, the 18th of February 2014. Welcome back to segment number 2. My name's Paul.
My name's Andy.
And if you haven't gathered, our show is called the Unpenned Show, and we actually poke people in the eye. We poke them in the back and push you along, don't we?
Yes.
We do, because I am a little tired of meeting people who whinge about the system we've got. I mean, please moan all you like, but don't do it with me. I've had enough of it. Whining, moaning, groaning. Enough already. What are you going to do? I'm interested in what you're going to do. And if you tell me you're going to read some more and watch some more, I'll say I look forward to seeing you next time round. If you say, I'm going to stop paying my bills because we don't have to pay them, because there is actually a fund, you know, that's actually set aside when we're born, and all our bills are prepaid. Okay. Good luck with that one. I'll come and visit you in jail.
Yeah.
Because we've had Santos Bonacci on the phone on our shows before, haven't we?
We have, yeah. Love him immensely.
Twice.
Yeah.
This is not a critique of Santos.
No.
I'm genuinely a little concerned about the path that he's going down.
Yeah.
I've watched the interview outside court twice now. He's in court for $132,000
Yep.
Australian for motoring offences. That's the claim.
Yep.
And he stood in front of the cameras and explained why he didn't have to pay.
Yeah.
Now, this has been tried by somebody else before, called Roger Hayes,
Yes, it has. Yep.
and he got put in prison.
He did. He got jailed. Yep. For his council tax. I know.
I can't decide whether I admire Santos's bravery or whether I think he's a fool and he's listened to the wrong advice.
Yeah.
Because the common law that he refers to did once exist.
It used to do.
It's been usurped from a long time ago.
Certainly has.
Now, we can disagree with that, but we're a little late at the races, aren't we?
I think so.
We're just a little late at the races.
Yeah. We're a little bit
And-
late at shutting the horses.
Yeah. The stable door has rotted
yeah.
and fallen off.
I think it has, yeah.
We're a little late. Because my concern is that far too many people are using the rear view mirror to try and drive forwards. Now, looking where you've come from is all well and good.
Yeah.
But if you spend all day looking in that rear view mirror and you still manage to convince yourself you're moving forwards, this is an illusion you're creating for yourself.
Yeah.
Because the Wheel of Fortune doesn't have reverse. It doesn't have reverse, and it won't go backwards. Understanding what's been done to us historically is very important. But you can get bogged down in the astrotheology, the wars, the names, the places, the planets, the cycles, the circles. You can think you have to know it all. You don't. You really don't have to know it all. You have to know why it existed and how it's been improved over the years.
Yeah.
Now, astrotheology, I think, is a very interesting subject, but we don't bother with it anymore because we've got the gist of what it was about.
Yeah.
It's a control system that's incorporated into the Bible. It's encoded into the Bible. It's a star-based control system.
It is, yeah.
And this control system, quite simply, is a claimed decode from the visions of Set,
Exactly.
the nighttime sky.
Yeah.
They joined the dots, the first people to join the dots, and relay the stories to the people that had been told to them by the stars. In other words, they got the people listening to the stories from the stars and following the stars and looking to the stars for future guidance. That's what was done at least 2,000 years ago with what we know as the Bible, and that's what is being done to you and I today.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. The visions of Set are still asking us to listen to the stories from the stars,
Yeah.
to follow the journey with the stars, and to believe that the stars can predict our futures.
And make you immortal.
Exactly.
As we've got Elvis and all these people.
I believe I can fly.
They carry on and carry on and carry on.
I believe I can fly.
Yeah.
You raise me up. I think people laugh at us sometimes because we see our control system as quite simple, really.
Yeah.
It's the people involved having to spin the lies and deceit that have to complicate it.
Yeah.
So you give up trying to understand it. All liars do this. And if you've ever tried to argue with a liar and you uncover one of their lies, they'll immediately counter it with another one. In other words, arguing with a liar, you can never win, because they will never back down. They will never stop lying. And because they're in a grotto, a Santa grotto, or a Satan grotto, because they're collectivized to be a group of liars, and because they've gone through the indoctrination system of rolling the trouser leg up, unbuttoning the shirt, put the blindfold on, and if you believe in something more powerful than yourself, you'll let me push you over, and if you believe, you'll be caught.
Yeah. And we've to reiterate
and by
that,
God, you will be caught.
Yes, we've gone from austerity to money's no object.
Oh, right, but that's... hang on. I'm not done where I was going there. This is the collectivization, the indoctrination of a collective bunch of deceptions. These people live to deceive.
Live to lie.
They actually... They actually coined the phrase mugs. And that was us. Yeah. They coined the word mugs because that's what they called us. Because we were the mugs. That's what they said. We drink out of mugs now. We do. But they actually used to say the mugs. Yeah, and they were the smug. That's how they played this. It is not for me or you to say we would do it. But when you look at how simple we are to deceive, it does make you ask the question.
It does, yeah.
Have we always been like this?
Yeah, I was.
Or is this the worst version that has ever existed? And I argue, I think this could be the most hypnotized version. This is the one that believes everything. Yeah. As opposed to the ones that at least used to question things. But I look at the generation that's gone and the generation that went before them. And they didn't know. They didn't know what we know now. So the double-edged sword that is the internet can be used for good or evil. It's always a choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always a choice. I mean, I actually, every now and again, I do use Facebook. I criticise it all the time. But I also use it as a research tool. And sometimes I pull up one or two what might be called challenging status updates to see what happens. Now, I've got a lot of so-called friends, as it were. 820 odd, I think it is. But that's how many people supposedly, I'm connected with. This is not true, of course, but no. 820 odd. So, this is the status update that I put on last night, Whomever you listen to, they don't tell you to get off here. Get into the ring and challenge the control system today. Oh, but they do, you might say. No, they don't. No, they don't. Even if you think they do, they're passing on information that they have been given. This is not the truth.
It isn't, no.
This cannot be the truth. Only a very few actually get off the sofa and challenge the system. And Santos is one of them.
Yeah.
That's why I can't decide how. Do I admire his courage, or do I want to stop him? Because he's going to end up going to jail. And $132,000 US, Australian. How do you rack that up in traffic fines? How do you rack that up in motion offences? I think there's more to know here, and I think it'll come out, and we'll be able to talk some more about it.
Yeah.
Brave, yes.
He is.
Courageous, yes.
Yeah.
Stupid to take it this far. 132,000.
Yeah.
Too far.
It is too far.
If you want to challenge the system, right, have a go at a parking fine, right? Have a go at a parking fine. Now, my experience with parking fines goes a bit like this. The company that are going to come and try and get it off you, right, they don't have a legal department. They just have somebody who says, we send this threatening letter, and if you don't reply, we send this threatening letter, and if you don't reply, we send this threatening letter. And all the time, the cost of sending the letter is being passed on to you in increased fines.
Yeah.
In other words, you can pay this.
Compounded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I understand that's how it works. But these are just letter-sending companies. Nothing else. And I understand that if you reply in legal terms and make the correct demands upon them, they look at the amount that you owe them and they say, if we have to employ a solicitor to write back to this guy because we're not quite sure of the value of what he's sent in other words, we can make a bit of a mistake here, that they've made a challenge upon us, and they've also threatened to charge us if we don't follow the law as it should be or whatever. So they say, well, this means that we're going to have to get a solicitor to reply to this, and that solicitor is going to be a lot more expensive than the 60 quid that we're chasing.
Yeah.
Chuck it in the bin and forget it. That's a chance that I think you might actually get. Defend yourself the best you can. Make them work hard for that money, because I know, and the people listening know, that if that debt has been sold to them, you're not really liable to pay them. And they've broken the contract, but did you sign a contract when you parked the car? The answer is no, you didn't. Was it your land that you parked it on? The answer is no, you did. It's not your land. Is it technically your car? Yes, you own it, but only if you follow the rules and regulations that are made to apply to the car.
Exactly, yeah.
People say, oh, you're not even the keeper. Yeah, you are the keeper. The reason why it's called registered keeper is because for company cars and for cars to be gifted to sons and daughters and that sort of thing. Okay, maybe mummy and daddy are paying for the insurance, and maybe they want the car to be registered to them, but you're the keeper.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it says the V5 ownership document.
It does, yeah.
It's a bit like the people in the early days that say...
it's just where they send the ticket to.
Exactly,
That's all
yeah.
it is, yeah.
It's like the people who say, oh, did you know, this country's run as a business? And you say, well, what did you think it was bloody run as? A bloody sweet shop?
I remember going, oh, at that one. Never. It is.
But when you settle down, you think... Well, of course
it's got to be.
It's got to be accountable. It's got to be accountable to who... of course it's run as a business.
Yeah.
I only read half the status there, by the way. I wandered off. I got halfway through it.
I know what you were trying to do. Yeah,
whoever you listen to, they don't tell you to get off here, get into the ring and challenge the control system, do they? Oh, but they do, you say. No, they don't. Only a very few actually do it. The rest keep watching and listening, having no intention of doing anything, as they are waiting for someone else to go first. And when they fall, they have all the answers as to why, don't they? Just like any cult / religion, they build followers, don't they? We don't want followers. We don't want followers. No. We don't want to go to the...
we don't, no.
Paul and Andy, can you help us? Paul and Andy, what would you...
Because the answer, our answer to them would be, you've got to help yourself.
Well, how can you fight if you're not standing on your own 2 feet?
Yeah.
You cannot put up a fight of any sort if you're the spectator or the commentator. Now, go with me on this one. Are you the spectator? Are you the commentator? Or are you going to get in that ring? Now, to get in that ring, you've got to stand up on your own 2 feet, unaided. You have to supply everything you need to be independent. And at the point of standing in that ring, putting the gloves on and taking part in the fight for what the future's going to be, only then can you even get a chance to come first.
Mm-hmm.
In that race, at that moment in time, in that fight, in that challenge, you now have the ability to affect an outcome. So instead of watching and forever being second, now you can be first and create a future outcome for yourself.
Mm.
And when you've fought your bout, when you've fought a bout, and the bell rings and the war's over, who's in your corner?
Mm.
It's a second, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Because he's been watching you.
Mm.
And that's the closest you can get to the action. A watcher can only get the closest he can get.
Yeah.
Is a second. So if you want to get in that ring, make sure you don't need any props to hold you up.
Mm.
And nobody else has to make your life for you. Because only then have you got the power to affect the outcome of what might be the future for you.
Mm.
If you rely on anybody else to help you with that outcome, you're not independent, are you?
You're not, no. No.
Good luck to Santos, I say.
Yeah, good luck to him. We like him immensely, don't we? But like you say, we're worried for him, putting himself into a position where he could lose. I mean, he's started a young family.
But $132,000.
I know. I know.
I mean, it's going to have to come out. How on earth do you get it to that? Enough about Santos.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to jail him.
Yeah.
I hope they don't, but I think they're going to.
Mm.
And I'm sure there'll be an attempt to raise somebody to try and stop that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's find out what the amount's for, really.
Yes.
Let's find that amount, because I think he's... Anyway, that's I've done one item on my Facebook page.
You have, yeah.
Now, that, out of 820 odd people, that got noticed by 5. 5 people.
Out of how many?
821.
Are the rest of them... Are those people on the other side of the world? Are they in bed?
Look, all I'm saying is
I
that
know, yeah.
the illusion that this thing gives us,
Mm-hmm.
the circus, the playground, the Neverland, the time-stealing machine, whatever we want to call it,
Yeah.
it's not real, is it?
No. No.
Anyway.
I know I left it alone up over Christmas and enjoyed it immensely not going on it. I did. I just left. And then when it broke down as well, I were off it as well. And it becomes addictive. You've got to go on to find out what's... And it doesn't help you at all.
Tell you what is on here. Let's do a police notice. A police notice. Greater Manchester Police. Now, I can't find the date on this. It's actually dated 6th of February, but the actual post that I'm seeing... Anyway, it says 0809 area codes. Right, these are along with 0284 and 0876. You get any message on your phone to ring, return call those numbers because it's serious or it's important about a member of your family or whatever, right? Don't ring it. Don't ring it.
Don't ring it.
Allegedly, it's a £1,500 a minute phone scam.
Oh, right.
Right. I don't actually believe this, to be honest. But this is what Facebook does. Okay? First of all, £1,500 a minute. All right? How on earth are going to... You see what I mean? It's ridiculous, isn't it? This is the... This here is what I would say is from the... Let's see what we can get them to believe today. Because the dumbest, and that's us at the bottom, by the way, in case you thought you weren't dumb, we're the dumbest, okay? You see, in the game of life, the smartest tend to have more than the not-so-smartest. Now, I know the in-debt and desperate kid themselves that we can create an entire world that doesn't need money.
Mm-hmm.
Try and sell that to the City of London. it's not going to go well, is it?
No.
Okay? Try and sell that to anybody, because your bias is to create a world where you can be successful doing nothing.
And helping yourself to something.
Yes. So it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're listening for, you won't enjoy this show. You shouldn't be listening, because you shouldn't be thinking that way. This system wants to break you. It wants you to sit home and moan and groan about what a crappy deal you've got. That's what it wants you to do, because you're broken. Okay? You're broken. You're faulty. And you can't be bothered to repair yourself and take part. Now, this might sound a little bit harsh. If you think there's another way, go give it a try. But for me, I've got a daughter, I've got a business, and I would like to be proud of myself for providing their needs and having a little bit left at the end to enjoy what might be whatever retirement I can manage to save for.
Yeah.
You know, I know there is another way, but only on here. There is not another way, really. I know the people at the bottom are programmed for socialism. In fact, they're almost okay with socialism. And that's where we're all the same.
Yeah.
We all get the same. They completely forget to put the word national in front of it.
Yeah.
And then they completely forget to understand what National Socialism was.
And is.
And is still today.
Yeah.
So, that's 2 posts on my Facebook page done now. Now, I'm not saying this 0809 number carry-ons are fake. But £1,500 a minute. I mean, alright, if that appears on your bill, alright, it's a scam, isn't it? I mean, you're going to phone your phone provider and say, don't pay it. Don't pay it, that was a complete scam. They've got a full recording of it, they know.
Yeah.
This is just, isn't it the fear-based control system?
Yeah,
Or is
working on
this just
fear
someone
again.
sat at home just having a bit of fun and putting that
Maybe,
together?
Yeah.
Because it's not real.
Copied and pasted
Yeah, but I
the
can't
police
touch
logo on.
I can't touch
No.
it. I haven't got that piece of paper.
No.
I haven't got a signature. I haven't got a telephone number.
No, and
I haven't got a date it was issued.
No, and that's just on somebody's computer screen.
But you see what I mean?
Computer screen, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. People will take that. Let's have a look. It says, what's the details on this? It says how many people have shared it. Let's have a look. I don't want to share that. Who knows, anyway. By the by, you see what I mean? How it works? It's on Facebook, so it must be real. Let's try another one. Let's see if we can do another one. Oh, that's rubbish. That's an American one. It's not rubbish, but isn't it? Right, this is interesting. I don't think we've talked about this, only briefly on the show before, about your NHS medical records. Where if you haven't, you should be going to your doctors and opting out.
I've got the letter at home.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've already done it.
I've
already
got to go and opt out,
Now, this is good news. This is good news for us. It's only a little bit of something that at least we like to have a little bit of good news every now and again, don't we?
We do, yeah.
And that is that the medical records database has been halted amid concerns, which actually means it's not going as well as they'd like it to.
I didn't expect it.
In other words, there's too many people realising that we're doing it, and there's too many people talking about it. So they want us to pack in talking about it. So this is where they play the old adage of, don't worry, everybody. We're not bothering with it anymore. We're not bothering with it.
Yeah.
We'll have a look at that again
Shelved
in the future,
it.
but don't worry about it for now.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
We'll come back to it later.
Well, it's to get it off. It's to get it out of conversation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's to get it out of conversation, so we don't keep telling people to get down your doctors, sign the form, so they can't just sell your medical records on to whoever. We know damn well they'll be doing it anyway.
Well, I haven't been to doctors for a long time because I've been poorly. So
right.
I need to go, but I've got the letter. Yeah, they actually sent us a letter through the post saying, you can.
So it means
sign
that
a form.
It's too much. It's too much in the public conversation. We're talking too much about it. So they've had to say, well, "Don't worry about it for now. Don't worry about it. We'll have a little look at it. It's our fault. We'll sort it." So we can take that as a little bit of a. Well, not much, but at least they've had to rethink about it. That's 3 stories. That's 3 stories we've done. Big God. 10 to 10. Where does that time go?
I don't know. I just wanted to go back to the bit that you were talking about on the sun rising and getting to midday, and then in the latter part of your life, you're looking back and you're seeing the darker side, and we've both done that, haven't we?
Uh-huh.
And this is where it suddenly you come to a point and it's you slap in your face, and it says something in just going right. I had that time, and I was sat at home, and I just thought, is this it? Is this all there is? And one of our relatives on my wife's side, I remember the conversation. He rang me up, and he'd been a policeman in the undercover when he was younger days.
Yep.
And he'd climbed the greasy pole up through the Metropolitan Police and all that. And he retired early with a lovely pension because he'd been undercover, and they got special dispensations because you'd been away from your family longer. And he set up a photography business, and they moved to South Wales, into a lovely part of South Wales, and he got the contract through his contacts with the police for supplying the film for the cameras at the roadside that zap you for speeding. So he had that lovely little contract, and he got elected to be a magistrate, and his life was going lovely. And then he lost the contract for the photographs for the film and of course the recession hit. Nobody was having photographs taken, and his business went belly up, and he ended up in front of another magistrate in bankruptcy. And I remember the conversation we had with him, and he rang me up, and he said, Andrew, he says, it's all a scam. You work hard, you pay your taxes, you apply to society,
and this is an ex-policeman.
This is an ex-policeman who had to sell everything up and move to a smaller prop, blah blah, and he's had to do all that, and think he was doing. And as soon as he stood in front of the magistrate, that bit, we're a policeman, I were undercover, I was a magistrate, it's what, none of that mattered. All they were interested in were the money. The debt that he owed needed to be settled. And the way we do this is through bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. And you sign your life over, and you're paying, and it's on a drip feed, isn't it, then, after you've signed the bankruptcy? But so much a month.
But we've fallen to this, to the temptations, haven't we?
We have,
This is what happens. Mm. We're taught in life to decorate our life with things that we didn't ever really need.
Exactly, yeah.
We buy bigger houses and have less children.
Mm-hmm.
We buy posher cars and drive them less.
Yeah.
You know, we're a very strange breed of people. we're always fussed about what other people think.
Want to talk about
until you turn over that corner. And if you're really lucky, your midlife crisis is the breakdown of the illusion that you've been living in. Because I truly think that is your midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Now, for some people, it works out as you leave the wife, get a girlfriend half your age, and buy yourself a sports car.
Yes, there is that one. Okay. Start wearing sandals.
Exactly. In other words, you want to go back to when you felt your most successful and attractive, and you still kid yourself because the mirror tells lies. Mm. That's why I say that you've got to look in that mirror, and you've got to be truthful to yourself. And this is where it gets really tricky, because I don't think I ever really was. I don't think I ever really was until I got hit by the steam train, which is reality. And I remember discovering it and not believing it truly. Mm. I remember trying to attract people to it by saying the wrong things and trying to show off how smart I was when I just watched a YouTube video, really.
Yeah.
And I remember it didn't go very well. And then you sort of get a little bit introverted, it becomes a personal journey, and you get quite depressed about it all.
Mm. Yeah.
And then the paranoia sets in, and the worry, and then you basically start to shun everybody else, and you don't want to talk, the whole process.
Yeah.
And then it hits you like a steam train, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And you do think you've gone mad.
Yes.
Don't ever talk to somebody in the doctor or psychiatry profession when you're at that point, because they'll convince you, and you won't take a lot of convincing, that you have gone a bit nuts. Because it does do that, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It does do that.
And you have gone nuts.
You have gone nuts.
Yeah.
Well, you've gone mad, but you've got mad. Not gone mad. You've got mad. the anger then wells up, doesn't it?
That's the
now
difference.
you're really starting to discover.
Yeah, you're starting to get mad, yeah.
Yeah, you're starting to get mad now. And that's different. That's a different feeling completely.
And you're mad with yourself, because
You're embarrassed,
you
aren't
are
You're ashamed.
You are.
When we first started doing this is because we're embarrassed. It took us so long to figure it out.
Yeah.
We're ashamed how it worked on us. And we want other people to perhaps discover it a little bit earlier. All these recordings are basically left for people in our own families that may or may not want to use them, for your children, for my children, for whatever.
Yeah.
It's our legacy. We've talked about legacies and about why we fear death, which we don't. There's something that we didn't add on.
No.
Once you've discovered reality as it is, the fear of death seems to disappear.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't worry about it.
No.
Because it feels like you've sort of won some sort of race already. Is the race really just the discovery of how life really works? Is it just the discovery of who you are? Is it just the freedom of thought and the ability to think for yourself that you're appreciating? Is it the loss of the need to chase money? Is it the not worrying about what other people think about you? Isn't that a freedom?
It
Isn't
is.
that real freedom?
That is real freedom, yeah. Yeah.
And isn't it being happy with just some of the smallest little things in life?
Yeah.
A kind moment, a loving remark, some of the smallest, insignificant things, as I would say they were years ago.
Yeah.
The one thing it does is it opens up your feelings, and the emotions are much harder to conceal now, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we know our five senses, and we've said if you're not using all them, you'll never detect reality. And we've talked about the sixth sense, and people say, I do feel I've got a sixth sense. I just can't quite decide what it is. I feel it's there. I know what it is. I know what it is. And it's common sense. That's what you're missing. Once you put the common sense of asking the right questions back, then you've made a step forward. If you rely on other people and their stories, you'll never know which is true, because we've got his story, her story, and between those two versions, what really happened.
Yeah.
So you've got three choices. It's always three, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can go with his story, you can go with her story, or you can find out what yourself, because neither of the first two storytellers are likely to tell you what really happened without a bias on the outcome.
Yeah.
They will want to bias the outcome so they can benefit.
Yeah.
Everybody does that.
We do, yeah.
Everybody does that.
Yeah. We do it all the time, in fact. Just
It's telling the truth to ourselves.
It is, yeah.
But it's the problem with the truth is it doesn't fit into a jigsaw of lies.
No.
It can't get it in. It won't actually fit in.
All of human history, almost all of mankind, is politically awake. And these new and old major powers face still yet another novel reality, in some respects unprecedented. And it is that while the lethality of their power is greater than ever, their capacity to impose control over the politically awakened masses of the world is at a historical low. I once put it rather pungently, and I was flattered that the British Foreign Secretary repeated this, as follows. Namely, in earlier times, it was easier to control 1 million people. Literally, it was easier to control 1 million people than physically to kill 1 million people. Today, it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control 1 million people. It is easy.
That should be uncomfortable listening.
I'm just going to say that's rather uncomfortable listening.
That should be very uncomfortable listening. We don't do shows about conspiracy theory, do we?
No.
We don't do shows about things you can't see. We do shows about things we've seen,
Yeah.
about things we can see,
Mm-hmm.
and how we connect them to everyday going on,
Yeah.
and why and how we get fooled, and how we're okay with being fooled,
Mm-hmm.
and how we've had to learn the hard way that not everybody is the same. It's been a very depressing time in the fact that people don't want to stand up for themselves. They want somebody else to do it for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you and I are self-employed.
We
And
are.
this is our likeness, isn't it? Because we understand. We chose self-employed,
We did. Yeah.
which meant we had ability in our own selves
Mm-hmm.
to provide whatever skill we thought we had.
Yeah.
We felt it was good enough for others to value and use and employ and that sort of thing. That makes us different to people who don't look at life in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And all we've really attracted to our little group is self-employed, isn't it?
Yes, seems to be. Yeah.
It does seem to be, doesn't it?
Yeah. 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 With Stuart and Joe. Yeah. Yeah.
And Pippa.
Oh, Pippa, of course.
And-
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
it's because this isn't meant to be easy.
No.
I know I know you halfway think you'd like it to be easy, but we'd just be pandas.
We would.
We'd be fat, dumb pandas.
We are, though.
Well, that's what they're making, of course.
That's what they're making.
You know,
yeah.
the obesity thing and the dumbness. You know, I mean, I can tell you,
and infertile.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're in a war.
Mm.
We're in a war.
Yeah.
And this is a war. It's been going on our entire lives and many lives before it.
Certainly has.
But the level of sophistication now is completely different.
Yeah.
We're being propagandised by experts.
Mm.
They've never had the ability to have this reach into our lives. Each and every one of us.
Yeah.
They've got us looking at their version of reality instead of looking at reality as it is.
Mm. Yeah.
We must go through their windows. We must go through their gateways. We must go through their servers.
Got the digital version, haven't we?
We've got the digital version, which will end up being, you'll do as you're told.
Yeah, the finger.
The
point.
finger. That's how it's going to go.
Wagging the finger at you.
We know that I'll tell you now that Google Glass is going to be this year's #1 Christmas present to adults for each other.
Wow.
I'll guarantee it is. Because it's been rolled out. It's £985 per set now. That'll come down over time.
Yeah.
Now this is where we don't have to type anymore. This is where the keyboard disappears. Now we just have to talk and wave our arms around. Now we're getting to sign language.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dumbing down of society continues.
The orangutan asking for 3 grapes. Through sign language.
We're getting to sign language.
Yeah.
The actual powers that be have got a problem they've never had to actually deal with before, and that is there's too many old people, from their perspective. Old people are unproductive and expensive to maintain, and anybody who thinks that they're not making plans to get rid of them, you've not really done much studying.
No.
Propaganda is just the illusion that's created while they're busy doing it. The culling is underway.
Certainly is.
Our water's medicated, our food is poisoned,
It is.
our medicines are questionable.
Ooh,
They certainly don't cure, but they do treat. And all the time we've been milked, even when you've saved it. And even if you've worked very hard, paid for your house, paid everything into your pension, you still only get, right, exactly the same as somebody who didn't do any of those things.
You do, yeah.
This is socialism. If you're looking for socialism, you don't know what to look for. You've been living in it, certainly since the end of the Second World War. It's not to help poor people, it's to make more poor people.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Let's do another news story. This is a world record. This is very good. It is from the government media system. The let's see what we can scare them with today. The Daily Mail Online. We understand that the Daily Mail is the biggest propaganda provider for the working class that have still got some money left, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the most popular paper for them. They used to have the old tagline with the Daily Mail, you know, has your house gone up or down today? And the Daily Mail still never lets you miss those stories. You know, how much is your house worth this week? How much is your house worth next week? How much will it be worth in 3 years' time? It's always the money-orientated peoples that used to pick up the Daily Mail. Here we go then. This is a story it's just a story, and it's only to get it into the consciousness or unconsciousness of the people who look at it.
Yeah.
We know this is coming. We know because I can tell a story to back this up from 3 years ago. And that's a gentleman came in my shop, little guy. I'd never seen him before, and I haven't seen much of him since, actually. I don't think he lasted long in that job. Works in a care home just 100 yards from here. And he came in, it was the end of a midweek lunchtime, we were just wrapping up, and he came in, and I recognised him as knowing who he was. We got chatting. He told me he works in a care home. He said, I used to be, and he was a manual labourer before then. I can't remember what he was doing, but it was a manual, a brickier or whatever. He said, I've had a total change of career. He said, I'm too old to do manual labour. I've gone into the care system. And he was about 50-something. And I said, what a change, what do you make of it? He said, let me tell you something. He said, a couple of weeks ago, a guy came to visit his mum. And she wasn't well, and we'd said, you know, he came and she was poorly, and we said, look, she's a little under the weather, she's not eaten much this week at all. We're very concerned, we've had the doctor out, he's changed the medication, we're not expecting anything sudden to happen, but we're very concerned, she needs to eat. Oh, he said, and with that, he was away. And he came the next week, and he said, how's me mum? And this chap had said, she's a lot better. She's eating, we've had her out in the sunshine, she seems to have perked up no end. We're very, very pleased with her progress. Couldn't have asked for a better result. Oh, he said.
Oh.
See, the son
The
son wasn't delighted to hear that his man was doing okay. Too old to get life-saving drugs. Anger at plan to deny elderly treatment if you've had a fair innings. This is the headline in the Daily Mail. Isn't it clever how they've got us this far down? 30, 40 years ago.
That's just not cricket.
30, 40 years ago, right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't have stood for that.
We wouldn't have done, no.
It just wouldn't have been a headline. It just couldn't have been. We would have recognised the psychopaths that are in charge. Plans would consider wider social benefits, societal benefits, when giving out medicines. The Death Management Service body fears the proposals would mean young are a higher priority.
I think the NHS body that does that is called NICE. I forget what it's...
National Institute of Clinical Excellence.
That's the one. That's the one.
I know. They can't help themselves, can they? They can't help themselves. They can't.
No.
This story will be below the YouTube video. This will be. I'm going to turn this into this. I'll do it tomorrow. Read the story and decide what you make of it. There's a formula to all this, and the formula of birth, education, production, and destruction. We're living too long, and on one side of the fence they're creating the illusion that we're going to live to 85 for sure, and over 100 in years to come. And on the other side of the fence we have this one here. Yeah. This one here. Of we can't fix everybody.
No.
Now this is already in the NHS. Okay, it's already in the NHS. This way of looking, and it's hard to argue with. You know, we've got an older person there who, without today's modern drugs, medicines, they would have passed before now. They would have died before now. Are we prolonging their lives in a way that isn't helpful to them or society? I'm glad I don't have to answer that question. I'm glad I don't have to. and I don't think we should give it to people in white coats to answer either. But we get into a conversation that we don't need to if you just take a step back. We need to ask the question, why are so many people sick?
Yes, we do.
That's really, really important.
Back to asking the right questions.
Why are so many people sick?
When we
most
supposedly got clean water, good food.
But most people know this is... They know. Most people know.
Mm.
They know it's in the water and the food. Because historically that's how they've always done it.
Yes, yeah.
The water and the food and the medicines. Nothing changes except the players. And the intelligence level of the players as well. So, we need to ask, why are so many people sick? And we need to put forward independent studies on their findings. So, even if we can't change the lives of those that are victims of what's been done to them, we really need to go back to where it went wrong.
Yeah.
Because arguing to save a life that has been made to be less than a life, I realise if it's your mum or your dad or whatever, I realise the pain. But for those of us that are not connected in that way, we're going to have to push even harder as to why we've got to this point.
Mm-hmm.
This story here, please have a look through if you feel you need to. I won't read it all out. It basically says that if you're poorly, and the word fair innings, if you're poorly and the people in white coats who are coming to take you away, if you're poorly and they say that we can't afford to keep you going with whatever treatments it is that you've been using, 70 years old is the age that they use as a fair innings.
And they're wanting to raise the pension age to 72. I wonder why that'd be then.
I'll find a news story and I'll put this below that as well. There's a news story that I'm thinking of from it was from last summertime, I think. It was in the Telegraph, and that was 47% of people in the UK will have suffered from or will suffer cancer by the year 2020.
Yeah.
47%.
That's 1 in 2.
Will have suffered from, will be suffering from, or can expect to suffer from cancer by 2020. Now, it's not contagious.
No.
There are question marks over how which is hereditary. We know the answer. Where's it coming from? We can't detect, can we? We can't detect this attack. And yet, it's clearly there, isn't it? It clearly is there. Are the Death Management Service going to knock you off at 70? I have a feeling that they're sort of telling you what they've been doing for a while.
I'm going to say, yeah.
I have a feeling that they're just putting it into words what they've been doing for a while. And the reason why I sort of prefixed that story with a story of a guy who was not entirely delighted to hear that his mother was surviving on after being ill, because I think a small section of society, and I hope it's a very small section of society, they won't be too upset if mum passes away and dad pass away, not having to hand over the house before then.
I know. It's sad, really, isn't it?
It's uncomfortable, isn't it?
It's uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable.
And we know, we visited a graveyard, didn't we? And Massam graveyard.
Yeah, I go see my mum up there quite often.
And we've seen the ages on some of those gravestones, going back to, even some of them go back to the 16th century. Some of them don't. They're very faint.
I was going to say, we're not sure about them. We can get down to the early 1700s.
And there they are, living into the 90s and stuff. There are some younger ones as well, 21 and stuff like that, but the majority of them were older. So,
well, the figures get a little bit skewed, don't they? Because if you could But I mean, having kids was one of the most dangerous things ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the number of kids that were lost at birth or soon after birth were a very high number compared to what we have today. So the statistics of longevity are a little bit skewed because of the mortality, the baby mortality rate.
Yeah.
You know, you had to get past 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 before pretty much you were going to make it.
Yeah. My great grandparents on my mum's side, Grandma, what was her? I can't remember her surname, but she had 18 kids and only 9 survived. I remember chatting to my mum and I said, 18? And she said, yeah, but 9 of them survived. That's half. So there you go. But they needed that number in the family to keep the family going. They all contributed to that family, and they had one up, one down. They only had one bedroom.
We've got some good news when we get back. Inflation's 1.9%.
Oh, it is,
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought
that? Tuesday, the 18th of February, 2014. My name's Paul.
My name's Andy.
And this is our last segment for the Unpenned Show for this evening. It'll be turned into a YouTube video tomorrow. My Facebook, your Facebook, Phil's Facebook, and all the news stories will be linked on my Facebook page. Mm-hmm. Okay, please feel free to friend us, say hello. Just let us know that, a few people are around. This is really a very select band of people that we mix with.
It is.
A lot of people are not interested in what we talk about. We understand its importance, but it's not for us to try and affect other people's lives in the way that we tell them what to do, because they won't listen to you. People only ever will do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Now, they don't want to go to work, but they justify that with, but I go to work because I want something.
Mm-hmm.
And because we don't have the ability to make them financially better off, and because too many people tell them what to do, don't watch TV, don't read the papers, don't trust your teachers, don't trust your doctors, don't trust the police, don't trust the judges, don't trust anybody who's a public servant. This leads you down the path of isolated paranoia. This makes you look nuts, and to be honest, they're right. You're telling them a world that you don't know exists. You're passing on something that other people have told you.
Yeah.
And the reason why you do that in the early days is because you're trying to find reasons why you've not been successful.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to blame everybody else why you've not been successful. It's really easy to blame the system and what it's done to you. It's really easy for you to play, I'm victim, somebody help me. You've got to grow now.
Yeah.
Alright? You've got the seed. Okay, you've found the seed that matters. Now you've got to grow up. Okay, now you've got to grow up. And I can't do that for you. You've got to want to do it yourself. You've got to grow your own trunk. You've got to support yourself with your own branches. And you've got to sprout your own beliefs.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. The only way that you'll feel that you're moving forward is when the his story and her story bit doesn't work for you anymore, because you actually do it yourself. You decide what's true, because every version of events has got a bias in it. No matter who's telling you it, it will have a bias in it. And even if it's just a come back and listen to me next week bias, even if it's just we've got a donate button, please send me some money, this is really expensive to do, which it isn't. We see this as a hobby.
Yeah.
And old men have hobbies, don't they?
Yeah.
Young people play sports. And we're okay with that. This is our hobby, albeit a reasonably important one. When you hear figures like 1.9% for the inflation figure, you know why they do that. Because they base everybody's pay rises and that sort of thing on the rate of inflation. They also can tell you how well the Bank of England's doing and how well the government are doing in fighting the troubles we have. Well, what did you think they were going to do? It's they're a bunch of known liars.
Yeah.
These are professional liars. The only reason that you can't work out how the world works properly is because it's all lies. This is where it gets so difficult, because the only truth that you're going to be happy with is what you connect yourself. The only belief that you'll ever have is what you've seen and felt and experienced.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it and you haven't felt it and you didn't experience it, you don't know. So therefore you cannot back it up. That's why people are sat home unhappy to take part in the real world, because they don't know what to believe. They go on here today and they'll listen to one version of events and say, oh, that's it, got it. Then tomorrow they'll go back and they'll hear something different.
Formulas. It's a race. Formula One. That's what it is. Yeah. This is a perfect formula to keep going round and round in circles. It is Formula One. And all babies need formula. They do.
And by God, they give us it. They've got formulas for everything. And this is the Formula One. This is the race. They laugh at us, and they rightly laugh at us as well. This is perhaps what upsets a few people who are listening. The right to laugh at us. And the
Without a doubt.
And the right to laugh at our attempts that we make to get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's going to save you in here.
No.
Even if you think they're going to... I'm not going to save you. I'm not going to help you. I'm going to leave behind what I think might be valuable for you to help yourself. I don't want your money, and please don't ask me for any, because I'm not going to give you any. I don't know you, and in this game, nothing has ever stopped you making a better version of yourself. Everything you've ever needed has been given to you if you go look for it.
Yeah.
You've got to go look for the things that you need. If you don't, they'll counterfeit it and sell you a version of that makes you say, oh, I've had enough today, go put my feet up. What a day I've had. Bloody terrible day. I argued with next door neighbour, and that dog were bloody sick, and that school rang up because I've got wrong day for trip, and that's what happens. Right, the little things can knock you off course, because the bowl you live in, the fishbowl, is as big as you make it. And if you want to be a big fish in a little bowl, then you can be that. But if you want to get into the bigger bowl and go swimming with the sharks, you gotta get some cojones. You've got to get your tests passed. Cough, please. Nope, you're not ready to fight yet, fella. Cough, please. Nope, you're still not ready. Aha! I sense you have the very balls you need to play this game. Yeah, you have the very balls you need to play this game. You can be a man, my son.
And if you've got a foot in one camp and a foot in another camp, there's only one thing dangling, and they're vulnerable, aren't they?
They'll swing your will.
Yes.
They'll swing you swing one way and swing the other. It's a playground, really, isn't it?
Yeah. But that fits with going back to what you said at the beginning. You're looking in the mirror, and the only person looking back at you is yourself. And we all need help. I'm not saying that we don't need any help. But your true friends are the ones that will give you the help. Because
you're doing business.
Yeah,
you trade.
You have. It's a trade.
I remember in the early days. Do you remember? Because I had more time than you, and I could read on a bit faster, and I was getting through the books quicker. And because I've got this quiet time, and because a luxury that most people don't have. Do you remember me saying, "What have you brought?"
Yes.
And you're like, "What do you mean? What have I brought?" Yeah. Well, it's been a whole 7 days.
Yeah.
What have you connected? What questions have you got? What thoughts have you come up with? And it took a little while, didn't it?
It did, yeah. But I do that now, don't I?
Yeah.
I always try and bring something. Yeah. Whether it be a thought or a word I've thought of or something that's happened.
But doesn't it make life worth living?
It does,
Do you feel alive?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
For the first time in your life, you're not frightened of the future?
No.
You're not concerned about outside forces affecting your life?
No.
You feel able to converse with most people on most things?
Yeah, I'm back in control.
Yes.
It's my fault. It's the things I've done.
This is the power.
Got to realise
when they say take your power back, it's to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
This is what matters. And then challenge those that you know are living off the public purse.
Mm-hmm.
Because those that live off the public purse are the most interesting encounters.
Yeah.
You learn how they slant information.
Mm-hmm.
You learn how they think that they're better than you.
Yeah.
You learn that they have this bit of paper called a degree or some other similar type of qualification that automatically makes them superior in their heads.
Mm.
And the most fun is bursting that bubble, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't like it, but you're not here to be liked. We've never been here to be liked in a way that we want Christmas cards and well done, guys.
No, pats on the head all the time.
No, we don't want anything like that.
Oh, didn't you do well? Yeah, well
I mean,
done for that.
Do we want...
No.
No, we don't want any fame, recognition, reward. No, nothing like that. We actually just wonder, what do you think? And if you're prepared to share with us what you think, then thanks very much. Because all we've been doing this evening is telling you what we think.
Yeah. We have.
And on that bombshell, another Tuesday.
It's gone fast again.
Our thanks to everybody at Awake, Shaziz, and however you're listening via Blog Talk or the YouTube.
Thank you very much.
This technology allows us to do this, and we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it. And the reason we're going to keep doing it is because I do sense a change in the air. I do sense that people are starting to get a little bit uncomfortable with the world. I do sense the system is having to push on a little quicker than it should.
Yeah.
I do sense the headlines. There is a desperation. And I look at Clegg, and I look at King David, and you see the pudgy-faced nanny's boys. And if you really look carefully, you can see the fear in their eyes. You really can. They are so insecure.
They're out of the
they
depth
are
of the
so
moment.
nervous. Yeah. They know. And they might come off as loving every minute of it, as psychopathic demons, satanic controlled, whatever you want to say. Do you know what I see? I see little boys who are scared out of their depth.
I tell you what I did see in Tony Blair, how it aged 10 years that he was in. He aged very, very quickly over those 10 years that he were in power. It took its toll on him.
But today's MPs, there's not a statesman that I would back.
No, none of them.
There's nobody that I listen to. Their words, their thoughts, they're not writing books, they're not making speeches that make us proud. The system's getting lazy as well.
It is, yeah.
We're getting lazy, they're getting lazy.
Lazier.
We're getting more domesticated, they're getting more domesticated. They think we're stupid, we think they're stupid.
Yeah.
The game is still on.
It is. Game is on.
The game has always been on.
Bring it on. Ding ding.
Bring it on, exactly.
Round whichever you want it to be.
It's not easy. It's never going to be easy.
No.
If it was easy, we'd all be rubbish at it. Do you know why? Because we wouldn't even bother trying.
We wouldn't try.
If you're not bothering to try, and you don't want to try, and you don't want to work, you shake the hands of the people that allow you to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not here to judge you. You judge yourself. Whatever you think you deserve, and whatever you think you should have, if you don't have it, you don't get what you deserve. Unless you actually deserve it. You live in a country, no matter how bad you make it sound, no matter how much darkness you spread, you still live in a country that'll pay you for doing nothing. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Until next week.
What to say, really? 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. we can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I mean, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in a mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals.
Let's hope that we can get people to realise that the differences about how you got here don't matter.
No.
The fact is that we've got here.
We are, yeah, we're here
If
now.
we can just agree on one little thing, we want to make our lives better. We want to make the world that we leave behind a little better. And the only way we can do it is to challenge and replace the people who can do that.
Yeah.
Thanks again and good night.
Thank you. Good night.